The minority members of Parliament on the Trade and Tourism Committee paid a visit to the Komenda Sugar Factory on Monday. The Komenda Sugar Factory is yet to produce sugar in commercial quantities for consumption after it was commissioned in 2016. President Kwadwo promised that the factory would be operationalized in April. But 2 months after the April deadline has elapsed, the factory has still not been put to work. The minority on the Trade and Tourism Committee, led by the ranking member on the committee, Emmanuel Kwadwo, said the people of Komenda and its environs have been taken for granted by the government.
They've been painting and refurbishing for 6 years. That's enough. Let the factory operate. But the story about the factory is going to operate the following month. The president even told the chiefs and people of this area that last April that the factory will be operationalized. We are in June. And so the president's words must mean something. And you listen to the stories of the community members who actually grew the sugar cane, those who actually hauled the sugar cane. It means clearly that every story that was concocted to discredit the NDC government, John Mahama, was not true. That indeed a factory was built, that indeed a planned outgrowers were put in place with a sugar cane fat, both from the factory and outgrowers, a sustained program to basically let the factory operate. And today it is very, very clear. We have testimonies from people who participated in this exercise, who have quite frankly been waiting and hoping that the factory will operate, that government will really support them to grow sugarcane.
A member of the committee and former Deputy Attorney General, Dominic Ayine, says some members of government responsible for the waste of the country's resources should be prosecuted.
This government is one government that has been criminalizing the conduct of previous government officials by holding them before the judiciary and prosecuting them for causing financial loss to the state. What we have seen today is a clear-cut situation of causing financial loss to the state. The ranking member made it patently clear that they undervalued the factory that was built with $50 million. They undervalued it at $12 million US. And they are doing so in order to sell it off. The factory was left to rot. And for many years, nothing was done. And they had to borrow money in order to refurbish it. That, again, from an accounting point of view, is causing financial loss to the state. And the next NDC government in 2025 will be prosecuting those who are responsible. And so, upon taking office in 2017, it was incumbent upon the government of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo to continue all the programs and projects of the previous NDC administration. And that meant that projects such as Komenda Sugar Factory ought to have been continued by the government. What they did was to play politics with it and then to demonize the previous government in so many ways by giving factually inaccurate narratives.
As it stands, some renovation works are being done at the factory, painting and the fixing of some equipment aimed at operationalizing the factory. With the issue of the raw materials, the board of the Komenda Sugar Factory has already indicated it would import raw materials to complement what the local farmers would produce. Reporting for Joy News from Komenda, Kwadwo Nyarko.